Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Virtual Real Estate Channel. We're back with another Upland video today. Going to talk about some things not to do in Upland in this video. There's been rumors of lots of people being jailed lately, having their accounts really limited. And this is a game that's on the blockchain, so you can't have your properties taken away. There's a lot of pros to that, but that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. And there are ways that Upland can punish people for breaking their rules, their terms of service, those things. So I'm just going to go over a few things to watch out for that I've noticed lately, and how I play the game too, and kind of from the very beginning what my strategy has been. So I luckily have never been in jail, in Upland jail, but I was warned actually by Upland Analysis that, hey, be careful. During Spark Week, a lot of people are getting jailed for upgrading to different levels. So I had not heard that yet. So that's interesting to see, and we'll talk about why that might be happening and some of the rules Upland has done or changed recently as well, because they have definitely changed some rules to stop some of this, which would indicate, hey, we do not want you doing these types of things. All right, so we'll talk about some other things, the Queen's progress. We'll check out the lazy nodes as well. And of course, we love the likes, shares, comments, all those. Keep those coming. And my real estate channel is Mark Ferguson, Invest for More. And that's why my account name is Invest for Mo. I was going to do Invest for More, but I didn't have enough letters. And then ironically, one of the books I wrote is about a guy named Mo who buys his first house. So it kind of worked out pretty cool in the grand scheme of things. So you can check out that channel, and my blog investformore.com too has a ton of information on real estate investing, but this is still tons of fun, and it's actually really good timing to have something like this where people can kind of invest, play, even learn about real estate when it's kind of difficult to do it in real life right now because prices are so high and interest rates are rising, and there's all kinds of interesting stuff going on in reality. All right. This is still virtual reality. It's still real. I shouldn't say it like that. Okay, so what are some of the things to be careful with in Upland? First off, I want to show, let's see, resources, news, what Upland's latest kind of change to the rules were. And so let's see. Actually, wait, I'm lying. I have good news first. So I upgraded to executive last week during Spark Week, and so I was very excited. Had a lot of help from everybody. Thank you so much for doing that. And in the end, I'm kind of wondering, oh man, was that help something that was illegal in Upland's eyes? But I sold legitimate properties. I didn't coordinate with anybody. I wasn't asking for anything special, so I didn't do anything wrong. But I'm thinking, man, could it be thought of as something wrong in Upland's eyes? I'll talk about that here in a second. But I got 1 spark when I upgraded, and you're supposed to get 1.2 spark during Spark Week. You get 1 spark normally, and then an extra 0.2 when you upgrade. And then yesterday, after I did my video, I got 0.6 more spark. So I got way more than what they said for my bonus. So that was pretty cool. So I now have over 4 spark. And before the Queen's, actually before like last week, I had 1.39 spark. And now I have over 4. So I bought spark. I did a little bit of treasure hunting, which I'm still not that big of a fan of. I might have a video on that later. And then I got a lot of spark from upgrading and getting that bonus as well. So that was pretty cool to see and pretty interesting. Okay, now, sorry. We'll go back to, what are we doing here? There. Okay. Collection rework. This is what I want to talk about. So, well, actually, I'm all over the place. First off, this was kind of a hint that something was going on too, because Upland will tell you, weekly Spark login bonus. Oh no, well, I'm going to go all over the place even more. So this is something else. They're doing a weekly login where if you log in once a day for a week, you can get a spark bonus from, what's it say, 0.1, possibly more. So if you're playing every day and log in, a little thing should pop up, and oh, you'll earn minimum 0.01 spark. Sorry, not 0.1, 0.01. And then if you log in every day for 7 days, then you can get that bonus and possibly more, I believe. For those of us who love Upland, that's not a problem. I think we're logging in way more than that. But that was kind of cool. Okay, we'll take care of some housekeeping. All right. Something else that happened, which was slightly disappointing to me, but maybe it'll be okay. They're not doing the Thrifty Challenge this time around for Queens. So before, the Thrifty Challenge was when, usually after the collections are announced, people can buy, sell properties, and they rank you based on your profit margin, how many properties you sell, selling to different people, and they give away a Block Explorer and Spark or UpX. And so after Detroit was released, I got the Block Explorer, I got some Spark. It was pretty cool. And I'm very active minting and trading and selling. And so I've done well in those challenges. But this time they're doing a different challenge where starting yesterday, the 18th, and you have another hour to get in yesterday's challenge. Every day they start it new. But basically you get entries for sending your Block Explorer, minting properties, selling properties, and buying properties. And you can get a maximum amount of entries per day for those. And then 200 lucky participants will win the Queens Trader. So, I mean, I guess you're kind of giving yourself a better chance by doing a lot of this stuff. But I thought it was pretty cool how it was ranked before, and you could see exactly where you were, see what you needed to do. And now it's kind of just luck of the draw, which is okay, but I much prefer the Thrifty Trader. And they said, I think they're going to try and bring it back, but I think they probably stopped it because they're worried about people cheating again and selling to friends and doing different markups and profits. And so that's probably why they stopped doing it. So that's kind of my point of this video too, is just in general how to play the game. And I don't want to tell everybody how to do it, but how I do it and how I think it makes it more fun for everybody else. All right. They had an Easter egg hunt, which I did not participate in. That didn't sound much fun to me. Okay, so let's get to this news right here, which is definitely meant to curtail what they would call, I don't know if they would call it cheating or just unethical Upland actions. So what they're doing is they're reworking the collections, which means they're having collection holding periods. So before, right, if we go to Upland, and we go to a collection here, Upland picks random not random, but certain neighborhoods to be collections after the release. We're waiting for that tomorrow in Queens, so that'll be exciting. But you can see here, right, if you get a collection of 4 properties in Pacific Heights, you would get a 3,100 reward for UpX immediately. So as soon as you get those 4 properties, you can click on here and you get your bonus. So what they're changing is that now you have to wait. So if it's a standard collection, you can get them right away. Not a big deal. If it's a limited collection, you have to wait 7 days now. So you have to have that collection for 7 days before that they reward that UpX. Exclusive 21, rare 30, ultra rare 30 days. So why are they doing that? Well, basically what happens is people were doing swaps. And what a swap is let's say I have a collection and I've got 3 properties in an ultra rare collection, and that made me 50,000 UpX, just random stuff, right? Well, my buddy Bob over here doesn't have that collection, but I can swap my properties and give it to him, and he can take these 3 properties, put it in his ultra rare collection, get his 50,000 UpX. As soon as he gets that, he can swap it back to me, and I can get my properties. I just loaned it to him for like a day or an hour so he could get his bonus. Well, Upland doesn't like that, obviously, or they wouldn't make this rule. To me, that seems kind of like you're cheating the game a little bit, right? If you're, just giving people properties so they can get that bonus, or it will say on their profile, hey, you have so many collections now, because it does count previous ones that you had and don't have anymore. I've never been one to, I've never swapped properties with anybody, except for the properties I gave away yesterday in our contest, and that wasn't a swap. They're keeping those properties. So I can see how Upland doesn't like that, because it does seem unethical to me a little bit. And then other things that can happen, I've heard this in Facebook and some other groups, people will swap properties, and even more unethical practice is the other players won't give them back, right? They'll take the collection and just be like, oh, I don't know you. These are my properties. What are you talking about? So I saw that happen on one of the Facebook groups. It's happened before. It can be very risky, especially if you have like ultra rare collections you're doing that with, they can be worth hundreds of thousands of UPICs, and not just risky. Just, you know, to me, I can understand why they did it, and I wouldn't do that. So then, like I said, Upland Analysis mentioned that some players are going to jail for leveling up, and I'm not sure why, but they said you'd get your, I got my 1 spark immediately, then they investigate, then they'll give you your bonus spark during Spark Week. And that makes me think they're checking on players to make sure, hey, another player didn't give them 1,000,000 UPICs, because you can, you know, trade UPICs now. Another player didn't just give them, you know, 20 properties to swap so they could level up in Spark Week, and then next week they give all those properties back, they give that UPICs back, right? Again, that seems kind of obvious to me that that's gaming the system a little bit. Maybe, don't want to say cheating, but gaming, taking advantage of something that really wasn't meant to be there. So I can understand why they're looking into that. If they think you're doing that, they might put you in jail while they investigate. And if you're put in jail during a release or collections or when you want to be minting, right, you can't do anything. You have your properties. I believe in some cases you can still sell them, but it limits your activities significantly. And it's kind of funny because you get put in Alcatraz in San Francisco. So they actually do literally put you in jail. And something else that there's so many more things I could go through, you know, and I'm sure other people can add on to. That would actually be fantastic. If you want to comment below on other things that I didn't mention about what can get you in trouble, that would help everybody out a lot too. Because I'm definitely not an expert on it. I'm just kind of glossing over the things I know. Having multiple accounts can be definitely a red flag, right? If you've got one account and you start another one so you can have bonus UPICs given to that one from you, and then that one can buy properties cheap, or you're just kind of cohorting with yourself with multiple accounts, that is definitely frowned upon. That is listed as something that is not legal. Just to have one account. If you have friends, family in the same household that have, you know, multiple accounts, I'd be very careful to not be, you know, coercing each other into doing that coercing, but like, you know, working together to cheat the system, right? I'm sure you can do some things together, work a little bit together, have some fun. But if you're blatantly working the system with multiple accounts in the same household, I'm guessing Upland would not look kindly upon that either. So those are some things to be careful about. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I missed. But be careful. Don't treat the system. If it seems like it's not right, or you're taking advantage of something, don't do it. That's how I play the game, right? Like when people, you know, were swapping stuff in the very beginning, I'm like, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like that should be part of the game if you're just doing it to get someone else a collection and they're not really working to do it, and they're just getting that bonus, and it seems pretty obvious that it's not what you're supposed to be doing. So again, let me know what other things to watch out for. Love to hear, you know, your opinions on what's going on there. And, you know, anything you're doing to work the system, probably, you know, you should think about it before you actually do it. All right, Queens, you can see I bought more properties, kind of spreading myself out. I have been minting a few properties just to get more entries into the Block Explorer contest. I'm not super, you know, crazy about it, but just I'm like, oh, there's some cheap stuff here, there's some cheap stuff here. So I have been doing that. I did a couple of treasure hunts in Bronx and got nothing hardly, so that wasn't super exciting. I've heard people doing treasure hunts and getting all this spark, but at the same time, we don't know how much time they're spending getting that spark. They're spending hours and hours and hours every day. For a lot of us, it's probably not worth it because we have other activities that, you know, can make us more money than hunting for treasure. So that's what's been going on there. I have been selling a few more properties in Arvine. You know, have a few properties down there I picked up. I still have hardly sold anything on Rockaway. Haven't sold much more expensive properties in here at all. I don't have that many. They're mostly cheap, lower value. So now it's kind of like where the collection is going to be. Kew Gardens has been a popular spot. Glen Oaks, extremely popular spot. Hollis, was it Hollis or Holliswood? Holliswood has been Jamaica. Jamaica Estates has been very popular. The Rockaways, most of the Rockaways have been, you know, minted out and popular. You can kind of see what other players think is popular by what's being minted out, right? Long Island City is minted out. It's Astoria. I think Astoria is. And you can check and see, you know, oh, if this is all minted out, other players think this is a good area, popular area. That might give us some hints. Who knows? So there's still lots of cheap properties to mint as well. In the, I don't know if there's any in the 5,000 range, but definitely quite a few in the 6,000 range. You can see Corona, right? It's pretty well minted out, so that might be an area that pops up here as being very popular, or things players think will be a collection area. All kinds of speculation, streets, neighborhoods, and things, and it's just so hard for me to know. I almost stopped guessing and just watch other people and see what their guesses are going to be. And then it's kind of fun too, because we have the lazy node. So if I have properties in an area with a, that I think will be a collection, or it's a really neat area, we can make it a node, and we can have our own community buy it and build it and make it fun. So the collections, I almost think with the more nodes that pop up, like it makes the collections less valuable almost, because people in Los Angeles almost want to be in Century City more than they want to be in any of the rare exclusive nodes, because there's such a community there. They're doing so many different things. They've actually came out with a bunch of rules and different things and levels people can be at. And so it's, hey, that's more fun to be in something like that than in a rare collection. And so the nodes can be really fun on that side of it. And speaking of nodes, here, we'll go back to Detroit. We have the lazy nodes here, which are doing good. And we talked about it yesterday. We had that property that was built crooked, and I mentioned it. The player commented, tore it down, built it the correct way again. So thank you for doing that. 7449 Churchill. I told him I would spark some steak. Did I just say spark some steak? Some spark. That is, yeah, spark some steak. I did. Oh, we've got somebody else who's helping him out too. So he's going to build it way, way faster than before with that help. And it's straight now. So that's cool to see that. And then the winner, we gave away 2 properties yesterday. So that was cool to do. Both of them said they're going to start building soon. But I think at least one of them, maybe both of them, were already building in here, which is really cool. I know one of them had this complex here, building a big apartment, which can take a very long time. But that was cool to see. You can see other people are building, properties are popping up all over. So it's really cool to see what's going on. Oh, look, an apartment was completed here. I didn't see that. That's really cool to see. And it's like, hey, we can actually, change the neighborhoods in the game ourselves. We don't have to worry about Upland doing everything. And I started a new property here. So I don't think anybody's contributed. That's okay. You don't have to. Oh, no, I have someone helping out now. So cool. Honestly, if you want to contribute to me or anybody else in the neighborhood, fine with me. Or if you just want to build your own stuff, fine with me. There's no set rules or regulations for this node you have to follow. We're just having fun with it. And then, yeah, this one is getting closer too. And they had a lot of Spark contributed to it as well. So a mansion should be completed in here soon. Really cool to see. So definitely having fun there. And then I wanted to check and see. You can see where I was looking before, checking prices. But I wanted to check and see what our floor is, and if anything has changed significantly. Search. 16.5. It's up again. So we're down 83 properties. So people are still buying in there. And everything. I always like to do this. I gave away some properties. So let's where am I going? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. Let's raise that floor again. There we go. So now it won't show up right away, but our floor is almost at 18,000 now. So that's really cool to see. And there's still some really good markup properties, 125, 123, some cheap stuff in there. If you just are looking for, getting yield, you can search by markup and see there's one for 112. It's expensive property, but there's some decent deals in there still. And then let's look at 8 Mile 2. And I realized I made a mistake. Oh, that's not how I do it. Yesterday too, and someone pointed it out to me. Thank you for that. I had my non-FSA option on here, so I wasn't pulling all the properties. So I think I said 8 Mile was like, whoops. There you can see markups for 8 Mile, in case you're wondering. there were a little more properties for sale than I was showing yesterday. And 8 Mile was a little cheaper than that. It was like, yeah, I thought it was up to 20 some down there. There's actually one for sale for 11. I bought that. So you can see 8 Mile, or a little other node that I haven't been paying as much attention to, but I'm still buying properties on there. That's raised up to from a 10, 11 up to 16, 17. There's 111, so about the same amount of properties. So the Henry Ford one, I think, is definitely catching hold a little more, and that could be just I'm paying more attention to it because it's just fun for me and easier to manage and see what's going on and see all the building all in one little section. It's pretty cool. So, all right, that's all I've got for today. Love to hear what you think on the rules and regulations of Upland and what to watch out for, what not to do. I mentioned a few things, but there's much, much more. So if you guys have more input on that, love to hear that. Love to hear what you think of the lazy nodes. Love to think what you hear of Queen's collections too. I'm pretty bad now at predicting collections after the Berkeley release, and everybody's wrong. It's just like, oh, I'll just go with the flow. And I try to sell a lot of my properties before the collections are announced, but I haven't been doing very well on that either this time, just because I feel like I just didn't get that many great properties there. So we'll see what happens after the collections are announced. I'll still try and sell some today. We'll see for the contest they're having, and maybe some more on Rockaway. We'll see. Try to take some profits there. But overall, I mean, still fun. But yeah, definitely not one of my best releases minting-wise, that's for sure. Maybe we'll make up for it in the collections. All right, thanks for watching. Love the comments, love the shares, love the likes. Keep those coming. We'll be back with more soon.